Okay, so a quick little side project for today. We are having a yard sale on Saturday, and Michelle always lays out a lot of her custom jewelry that she doesn't use anymore. So people can buy bits and pieces, whatever. She came to me and she said, I need a little sign, I need a poster board, I need something to put little signs by the earrings, the necklaces that say, what the prices are, so people aren't always asking me. So we went back and forth, and I said, what about, like a little note card? I mean, so we could fold like a little tent, or we could, do something like this, and, have it like a little stand underneath it, whatever, would that work? And she's like, oh yeah, I think that would work. And I thought, okay, well, a little table tent's kind of small, but a little stand would be nice. And I was like, oh, well, how can I do that? So having a few minutes just today, I was like, well, how can I do that? And so I was thinking, well, I could take a piece of scrap wood, whatever, and then maybe make us a little slice in it, and then, just slide the card down into the slice, and then it would just sort of stand up. Let's see what I can do. So I did a little test, found this little piece of scrap wood, just sort of put a little hand slice in there to see if this would work before I did it a little bit more officially. And I'm like, well, that seems to work. Then you just set that above where the jewelry is. So that's what we're going to do for now. So we're going to make sort of 3 or 4 of these. These I just sort of hand cut. Cut isn't that great, whatever. But we'll make it a little cleaner, a little deeper with that. Found a little piece of scrap wood about the same size, width. Okay, they'll be able to stand up. So we will trim these, make sure it's nice clean on the top and bottom, and we'll make them again about whatever that is, 3 inches tall, and then we'll use the jigsaw and cut right down the middle for an inch or so that the card can sit right in there and it can balance. So that's our little project for today. We're going to start today just sort of cleaning up this leading edge here. And then we're going to go 3 inches. Actually, we can probably just use this. Square to 3-inch line. I'm going to line that up on the other side. That's going to be about 3 inches. So we'll just trim off just the very end here. Okay. So we got 3 3-inch blocks. Now we got to cut down the middle. Okay. So I've marked a center line about 1 inch deep. I think that's about as far we need to go. So then we're just going to put this in here and send it through and cut a little slit and go from here. Okay, so here we go. So we got a few of these, so we just put the card in. We'll go from there. Because if you really wanted to go, you could even go this way. We've now got 4 card holders for our yard sale signs for my wife's jewelry. Pretty simple. Okay, so I decided to make a change. So we have our square blocks. And I decided I want to do a little something. I've got a few minutes. Do a little decorative design. I put a sander disc on here. So we're going to try and round over the corners on here. Okay, and then I'm actually going to round over here as well, just to make it a little bit nicer looking. So it's going to go on top of jewelry boxes. So we'll see what happens. not what I'm looking for. Okay, so here we are. We are finished sort of sanding. Just got a little shape to them. Makes them a little nice. I think I might actually stain them too. I don't know why I'm doing this for such a little project, but you know, just for fun. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're gonna stain these, see how these come out. We're gonna use a dark walnut stain that I happen to have lying around. We'll see how it goes. Using, of course, the most high-tech rag available. It's going to look pretty good. Okay, I think those might turn out pretty well. A little better.